The following content is a work of fiction written by me, philosophical consultant, as a fictional implementation of my knowledge. If you are interested in booking an online session, send me an email. It's down in the description. Enjoy the video.
Jordan Hale was turning 36 in a matter of weeks, and the number sat on his chest like a weight he couldn't bench press away, no matter how many times he tried to reframe it. He lived in a one-bedroom apartment that had started to feel temporary 5 years ago, and now felt like a holding cell. The stack of overdue bills on the kitchen counter had grown tall enough to cast a shadow. His last job, mortgage underwriting for a mid-sized lender, had ended 3 months earlier with a polite Zoom call and a severance package that was already gone. 10 years in the industry, an MBA he'd scraped together in night school while working full-time and graduating with honors, and it still ended like this. Again. He wasn't new to endings. The pattern was familiar now. Climb, stabilize, get comfortable, then something. Market shift, company restructuring, his own body flaring up, knocked the ladder out from under him. He'd been laid off before, pivoted before, started over before. Each time he told himself it was just a detour. But at 35, staring down another restart with less money, less energy, and fewer illusions, the detours were starting to look like the map itself. Jordan had always done well in structured places. High school sports, the brief college stints that actually worked. The jobs where clear rules and measurable output rewarded his analytical mind. He liked systems. He trusted them. The problem was that systems, especially in finance, had a way of spitting people out once they were no longer the cheapest or the youngest or the healthiest. His body had been sending warnings for years. Old injuries that never quite healed right. A nervous habit that he'd mostly managed, but still resurfaced when stress peaked. He wasn't falling apart exactly. He was just worn, like a reliable car that had too many miles and too many patched repairs. He wasn't dating anyone. Hadn't in a long time. There had been serious relationships, women he cared about deeply. But they'd unraveled under the weight of his instability. Late nights escaping into video games when the real world felt too heavy. Canceled plans when pain or exhaustion won. The quiet, gnawing belief that he couldn't provide the stability anyone deserved, least of all a family. His friends were pairing off, having kids, buying houses. He watched from the sidelines, happy for them, and hollowed out by the comparison. His own family was close in the way families are when everyone's trying hard not to burden anyone else. His parents were dealing with their own health issues now, and Jordan carried the guilt of not being the son who had it all together, the one who could help more, worry them less. Some nights, he sat on the couch with a beer he couldn't really afford and asked the empty room the same questions on loop. How did I get here? What did I do wrong? Was it the partying and dropping out in his early 20s? The restarts that cost time and momentum? The choices to prioritize comfort in the moment over building something lasting? Or was it just bad luck stacked on top of ordinary human weakness? He didn't want therapy, not because he thought he was beyond help, but because the idea of sitting in a chair and being diagnosed, labeled, fixed like a malfunctioning machine felt reductive. He wasn't broken. He was lost. He wanted to talk about the bigger things, whether any of it was in his control to begin with, whether perseverance still meant something when the results kept evaporating, how to live authentically when the world seemed designed to punish honesty about limits. Jordan knew he still had something left, He'd proven it before, clawing his way back to school as an older student, earning respect in roles where he genuinely helped people navigate big financial decisions, showing up for friends even when he was barely holding himself together. There had been good years, proud years. He just wasn't sure how to reach them again without repeating the same cycle. He wasn't ready to give up. Not quite. But he was tired of pretending everything was fine, tired of pep talks and 5-year plans that ignored the very real wreckage. What he wanted now was something rarer. A clear-eyed conversation about what it means to keep going when the evidence suggests you might not win. About accepting irreversible losses without letting them define the rest of the story. About whether a meaningful life was still possible for someone who, at 35, felt like he was starting from less than zero. Jordan Hale wasn't a cautionary tale yet. He was a man in the middle of his own unfinished story, trying to decide what the next chapter could honestly be. Jordan stared at the screen, the glow of the monitor cutting through the dim room like a weak flashlight. Another ranked match had ended in defeat, not because he'd thrown it exactly, but because he'd stopped caring halfway through. His teammates' voice chat had turned into a chorus of curses and pleas, then outright rage when he just stood still in the objective zone and let the enemy cap. He'd muted them, peeled off the headset, and flopped backward onto the unmade bed. The controller lay abandoned on his chest. The YouTube autoplay kicked in. Some algorithm knew he was done gaming for the night. It served up an ad instead of another gameplay highlight. A calm, measured voiceover over clean white text. Feeling stuck? Questioning your choices? If you think you might need a psychologist. Maybe philosophy can help you decide whether you really do. Philosophical consultant. Free initial session. Book now. Jordan didn't skip it. He let the 30-second spot run twice. The words lingered. Not therapy, not fixing, just talking. About the big stuff. No labels, no prescriptions. He felt a flicker of something. Not hope exactly, but recognition. Like someone had finally named the thing he'd been circling for months. He clicked the link before he could talk himself out of it. 3 days later, he stood outside a narrow storefront in a quiet commercial strip. The sign was temporary. Vinyl letters on the glass. Philosophical consulting. He knocked lightly, half expecting no answer. The door opened almost immediately. A woman, dark hair pulled back, simple sweater, no clipboard or white coat in sight. Jordan, hi, come on in. The space was new, unmistakably. Fresh paint smell hit him even with the tall windows cranked wide open. Bookshelves lined 2 walls, some neatly filled with worn paperbacks and hardcovers. Nietzsche, Camus, Epictetus, a few he didn't recognize, others still half-boxed. Cardboard flaps open like they were waiting for permission to settle in. A single desk sat in the center, 2 chairs facing each other across it. No couch, no tissues box, just books and light. "Would you like something to drink?" she asked, already moving toward a small electric kettle in the corner. "Yeah, coffee, thanks." She nodded, then turned as a man stood up, mid-40s maybe, wire-rimmed glasses, button-down rolled at the sleeves. He extended a hand. "Jordan, I'm Jacob. Thanks for coming. Sorry about the mess. We're literally still setting up shop." He gestured to the chair opposite the desk and sat back down in his own. "Grab a seat. We can talk whenever you're ready." Jordan lowered himself slowly, taking in the room again. It didn't feel clinical. It felt provisional, like the person running it was still figuring out where everything belonged, just like him. Jacob leaned forward slightly, elbows on the desk, no notepad. So, Jordan, what brings you to me other than the fact that I don't cost money like a therapist? Jordan inhaled deeply, the breath shaky at the edges, then let it out slow. Honestly, I don't even know where to start without sounding like I'm whining, he said. But yeah, the main thing is, I just turned 35, and I feel like I've completely fucked up my life. Like, how did I get here? I had an MBA, magna cum laude, worked my way up in mortgages, underwrote hundreds of loans, got certified. And now I'm unemployed, bills are piling up, cars about to get repoed if I don't figure something out fast, and I'm single with no kids, no real prospects, and my body's betraying me more every year. He looked at the open window, the pale February light slanting across the fresh-painted floorboards. It started small, I guess. Back in college, I partied too hard, dropped out the first time, got a DUI later, kept digging holes for myself. Then I'd climb out, get a good job, build something, only for it to collapse. Layoffs, family health crap, cancers everywhere in the last couple years. My dog dying, which hit way harder than I expected. Every time I get momentum, something knocks me back down. Now I'm applying to everything, even thinking about stocking shelves or whatever just to eat and keep the lights on. But even that's not panning out quick enough. His fingers drifted to his beard, tugging absently at a few stray hairs before he caught himself and dropped his hand. I feel like a loser. Straight up. Peers are buying houses, having families, traveling. And I'm here wondering if I'll ever be stable enough to even date seriously again, let alone be a dad. I used to be outgoing, fun, had hobbies. Now I'm just stuck. Anxious all the time. Pulling my beard out from stress, wondering if this is it. If I wasted my shot. He turned back to Jacob, eyes steady now. I don't want pills or coping skills. I just need to talk through why this keeps happening, if it's me or bad luck or both, and maybe figure out how to stop hating myself for it, or at least accept it and move anyway. Does that make sense? Or am I just rambling? Jacob leaned forward just a fraction, resting his forearms on the desk. Jordan, he said quietly, ramble as much as you can, my friend. We're here to put things in perspective so that you can pick yourself up and follow an action plan to have a great life. He paused, eyes softening a little. I'm sorry about your dog. I've lost 2 in my life to old age. It hurts a lot. More than people who haven't been through it usually understand. Jordan felt the question land somewhere between his ribs. Not probing, not clinical, just curious. Like Jacob actually wanted to see the early frames of the film before jumping to the current scene. He stared at the coffee cup for a beat, then lifted his gaze to the window again, where the winter light was thinning out into late afternoon gray. He took another slow breath. Okay, he said. Rough image. I grew up in a pretty average middle-class house. Not rich, not poor. Dad worked construction most of my life. Long hours, came home tired, smelled like sawdust and concrete dust. Mom was a nurse, night shifts a lot. So she'd be sleeping when I got home from school or getting ready to leave when I was eating breakfast. They weren't bad parents. They loved me. They fed me. They made sure I had clothes that fit and Christmas presents. But it wasn't one of those super warm, sit around the table every night families you see in movies. More like functional. Everyone doing their part to keep the machine running. Jordan leaned back in the chair. I was the oldest of 2, younger sister by 4 years. He gave a small, wry half-smile that didn't reach his eyes. She was the easy kid, the one who never got in trouble, good grades without trying. Teachers loved her. I was the one who got called into the principal's office a couple times for dumb stuff, talking back, fighting once or twice, skipping class in high school to hang out with older kids. Not hardcore delinquent, just restless. His fingers drummed once on the armrest, then stilled. Always felt like I was chasing something I couldn't name. He shifted forward again, elbows on his knees now, staring at a spot on the floor between them. Sports were my thing early on. Soccer, baseball, basketball. I was decent, not star level, but good enough to start on varsity teams, get some pats on the back, feel like I belonged somewhere. His shoulders lifted slightly, remembering. That was probably the happiest stretch of my childhood. Middle school into early high school. Teammates, practices, road trips, the smell of the locker room, the high of winning a close game. I had friends, real ones. Girls noticed me. I felt capable. The memory faded from his face. He exhaled through his nose, a short, tired sound, and ran a hand over his beard. Slowly this time, not pulling, just smoothing it down like he was trying to steady himself. Then high school hit and things got messy. I started drinking earlier than I should have. Parties on weekends, sneaking beers from someone's garage fridge. It felt like freedom at first. Like I was finally doing something adult. He shook his head once, almost imperceptibly. But it snowballed. Grades slipped. I barely graduated. Had to go to summer school for one class. Dad was furious, but mostly disappointed, which was worse. Mom just cried quietly in the kitchen once, and that stuck with me more than any yelling ever could. Jordan's gaze flicked to the window, where the late afternoon light had turned the color of old paper. He stayed quiet for a second, letting the silence sit, then continued, quieter. College was supposed to be the reset. I went away, dorm, life, new city. Thought I'd reinvent myself. Instead, I partied harder. Missed classes. Failed out after 2 semesters. Came home with my tail between my legs. He gave a short, dry laugh that held no humor. Worked random jobs, construction with Dad for a summer, retail, bartending. Felt like a failure every time someone asked, "What are you studying?" And I had to say, "Nothing right now." His hands opened briefly, palms up, then closed again. Then I met this girl. First serious girlfriend. She believed in me more than I believed in myself. Pushed me to go back to school part-time. I did. Took me forever, but I finally got an associate's degree, then transferred, kept grinding. Got into a decent 4-year program, switched majors a couple times, but eventually landed on finance because it paid and I was good with numbers. Met people who were driven, saw what normal adult life could look like. Internships, networking, suits. I bought into it. Graduated late, 26, I think, but with honors. Landed a job in mortgages right after. Felt like I'd finally caught up. He paused there, jaw tightening for a moment. When he spoke again, the words came slower, heavier. Looking back, a lot of that drive came from shame. From wanting to prove I wasn't the screw-up kid anymore. From not wanting to disappoint Mom again, or have Dad look at me like I was wasting my potential. And yeah, part of it was wanting to be the guy who could take care of a family one day. The guy who wouldn't have to scrape by. Jordan sat up straighter, but his eyes stayed low, fixed on his hands now clasped loosely in his lap. But here's the thing that's eating me now. Even when I succeeded, it never felt solid. Like I was always one bad decision, One layoff, one health flare-up away from sliding right back to where I started. And now that it's happened, multiple times, I keep asking, was any of it real? Or was I just running from the scared, restless kid who didn't know how to sit still and be okay with himself? He finally looked up at Jacob, brow furrowed, searching. I don't know if that's perspective or just more self-pity. Probably both. But yeah, childhood wasn't traumatic in the big dramatic way. No abuse, no poverty, no huge tragedy. Just a quiet pressure to be more. Do more, not fuck up. And I fucked up anyway. A lot. And now I'm 35, almost 36. And it feels like the bill is coming due all at once. Jacob let the silence linger just long enough for Jordan's last words to settle. Then leaned forward slightly, elbows on the desk, hands loosely clasped. His tone stayed calm, conversational, with a faint trace of warmth that kept it from feeling like an interrogation. When you say you fucked up, he said, meeting Jordan's eyes steadily. What are you referring to? You can start with the biggest fuck up if you want. But please don't leave any fuck up unsaid. Lay them all out. The ones that still sting, the ones you laugh about now, the ones you're still paying for. No editing for dignity. We're not here to judge the ledger. We're here to read it clearly. He gave a small, knowing half-smile, the kind that acknowledged the absurdity of life without mocking it. And remember, Jacob's voice dropped into a gentle, exaggerated drawl for just a second, channeling the meme perfectly. We all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo. He let the line hang there, light enough to cut the tension, but not so light it dismissed anything Jordan had already shared. Jordan exhaled through his mouth, a long, ragged breath that seemed to pull the air from the whole room. He uncrossed his arms, planted both hands on his thighs, fingers splayed wide like he was bracing himself against the chair. His eyes flicked to Jacob, then away, settling somewhere on the edge of the desk where a thin stripe of late winter sunlight still clung. Yeah, all right, he started, voice low but steady. The fucked up part. I get it. Sure, some of it was passion, impulse, stupidity in the moment. A lot of it wasn't even that dramatic. Just dumb, repeated choices when I knew better. I'll go biggest to smallest. He shifted forward, elbows back on his knees, staring at the floorboards as if the story was written there in faint pencil marks. The biggest one, the one that still wakes me up at 3 a.m. sweating, is blowing my first real shot at college. I was 18, away from home for the first time. Dorms, freedom, girls, parties. I partied like it was my job. Skipped classes, bombed exams, drank until blackouts, thought I was living the dream. His jaw tightened. He shook his head once, slow. Ended up failing out after a year and a half. Had to pack up, move back in with my parents at 20, feeling like absolute garbage. That one set the tone for everything after. It delayed my degree by like 6 years, cost me momentum, and planted this seed that I'm unreliable. Every time something good happens now, part of me waits for the crash because that's what I do. He rubbed his thumb across the knuckles of his other hand, a small, repetitive motion. Right after that, the DUI. I was 21, home from the failed college stint, working nights at a bar. Got hammered after a shift, drove home, stupid, reckless, classic heat of passion bullshit. Blew over, got arrested, license suspended for a year, court fees, community service, the whole circus. Parents bailed me out financially and emotionally, but Dad barely spoke to me for months. That one hurt because it wasn't just me. It embarrassed them. And it made getting any decent job harder for years. Insurance through the roof, background checks failing. It followed me like a bad smell. Jordan's voice dropped a notch. Quieter now, almost confessional. Then there were the relationships I torpedoed. Not cheating or anything dramatic. Just checking out when things got real. First, serious girlfriend, the one who pushed me back to school. I pulled away because I was scared I'd drag her down. Ghosted emotionally, then physically. Broke up over text like a coward. Later ones, same pattern. Get close, feel the pressure to provide or be stable. Panic because I'm not there yet. Sabotage it with distance or picking fights over nothing. One girl straight up said, "You're afraid of succeeding with someone." That stung because it was true. So yeah, multiple relationships ended because I couldn't handle being vulnerable or committed when I felt like a project still in progress. He sat up a little straighter, but his shoulders stayed rounded, heavy. Career-wise, the layoffs weren't all my fault, but how I handled the in-betweens was. After the first big one, company downsized, I was out at 29. I spiraled for months, drank more, gamed all day, barely applied anywhere. Took a pay cut job I hated just to have something. Then climbed back up, got the underwriting role, certifications, felt like I was finally adulting. Got laid off again 2 years later, market crash stuff. This time I tried harder at first, networked, interviewed, but the rejections piled up, depression crept in, and I started escaping into hobbies instead of grinding applications. Pulled my beard out until patches were gone. Stopped exercising, gained weight, health stuff flared, autoimmune crap got worse from stress, chronic pain made sitting at a desk torture. So yeah, I let momentum slip again. That's on me. His fingers drifted to his beard again, hovering but not pulling this time. Just resting there like an old habit checking in. Smaller ones stack up too. Dropping classes I should have finished. Borrowing money from family and paying back late. Blowing savings on dumb shit like new gaming rigs when I was broke. Not going to the doctor sooner for the pain. Let it get bad because tough it out. Even little things like not keeping in touch with old friends, letting texts go unanswered until the friendship dies. Jordan's gaze lifted, finally meeting Jacob's eyes again, steady but raw. And my dog. He was my constant through all this crap. When he got sick and I had to put him down last year, I fell apart. Skipped job interviews that week, drank alone, felt like even the one thing that didn't judge me got taken away because I couldn't afford better vet care sooner. Guilt on top of everything. He leaned back slowly, arms falling limp at his sides, the chair creaking under the shift. So there it is, all the fuck-ups laid out. Some impulsive and passionate, like the drinking and driving or partying. Some just lazy, avoidant, scared. A pattern of building something up, then watching it crumble because I either self-sabotage or don't fight hard enough when the world pushes back. He swallowed once, throat working visibly. I know not everything was 100% my fault. Layoffs happen, health issues aren't choices, economy sucks. But I can't shake the feeling that if I'd made different calls earlier, I'd be in a different spot. Less regret, less isolation, less loser at 35, staring back in the mirror. Jordan's voice softened on the last words, almost a whisper. What now? Jacob sat quietly for a moment after Jordan finished, letting the weight of the full list settle between them like dust after a long confession. The desk lamp cast soft shadows across his face, highlighting the faint lines around his eyes that spoke of someone who had listened to many such inventories before. He didn't rush in with platitudes or quick interpretations. Instead, he tilted his head slightly, thoughtful, and spoke in that same measured tone. Gentle but direct. "Well," Jacob began, echoing Jordan's own opening word as if to meet him halfway. "Why do you think you delved into hedonism the moment you were away from your parents? Could it be that you had repressed yourself so much for so long, and that the moment you were allowed to do what you wanted, the pull was so strong you couldn't handle it? Was the pull so strong because you didn't want to go to college in the first place?" He let the questions hang there, not as accusations, but as invitations. Mirrors held up gently for Jordan to look into. Jacob leaned back a fraction, giving physical space to match the psychological one. "I'm not asking to diagnose you or pin a label on it," he continued. "But look at the pattern you just described. Years of quiet pressure at home. To be more, do more, not fuck up. Sports gave you an outlet, a place to channel the restlessness. But even there it was structured, coached, measured. Then suddenly you're 18. No eyes on you, no curfew, no disappointed glances across the dinner table. The reins come off completely. And what rushes in isn't just freedom. It's the flood of everything you'd been holding back, maybe without even realizing how tightly you were holding it." He paused, fingers tapping once lightly on the desk, a small punctuation. Repression doesn't always look like dramatic denial. Sometimes it's just constant self-monitoring. Don't disappoint them. Don't be the screw-up. Earn the approval. You carry that internal parent around, and when the real ones are suddenly miles away, the counterswing can be violent. Parties, drinking, blackouts. Not because you're inherently reckless, but because the pendulum had been pulled so far in one direction for so long that when it released, it slammed all the way to the other side. Hedonism as rebellion, sure, but also as relief. A way to finally feel something that wasn't laced with should or have to. Jacob's gaze stayed steady on Jordan, calm and unblinking. "And did you actually want to go to college? Or was it the next item on the unspoken checklist? The path that proved you weren't wasting potential? If part of you was already resisting, if the whole endeavor felt like someone else's script, then no wonder the escape hatch looked so inviting the second you were unsupervised. The partying wasn't just fun, it was refusal. A loud, messy no to the pressure that had been humming under everything since middle school." After a moment of silence, Jacob finally asked, "Do you think you may have developed a tendency to repress yourself until you explode again and again? Like you force yourself to do what's right according to society or family until the resentment makes you flip the table? Have you, or anyone, ever asked you what it is that you want out of life?" Jordan sat forward again, elbows on his knees, hands clasped loosely between them. The lamp's glow caught the faint sheen of sweat on his forehead. He hadn't realized how warm the room had gotten. He let out a short, almost disbelieving laugh, the sound more exhale than humor. "Yeah. Man, those questions hit right in the gut," he said, voice rough around the edges. "You're basically asking if all that partying and hedonism when I first left home was some kind of explosive release, like a dam breaking after years of holding back. Or maybe even deeper. Was I never really on board with college in the first place? So the second I had freedom, I just bolted toward the opposite direction. He paused, eyes drifting to the dark window where his own reflection stared back, blurred and tired. He rubbed his palms together slowly, as if warming them. I think, yeah, there's truth to both. Let me unpack it, because thinking about it now, it feels like pieces clicking. Jordan's shoulders dropped a fraction, tension bleeding out as he spoke. First off, the repression thing. Growing up, it wasn't like I was locked in a cage or anything dramatic. No beatings, no screaming matches every day. But there was this constant low-level pressure to be good, to perform, to not disappoint. Dad coming home exhausted from construction, Mom pulling night shifts, everyone grinding to keep things stable. I learned early that the way to get approval was to toe the line. Good grades, mostly. Sports success, no big trouble. Restless energy? Channel it into practice or homework. Feelings of wanting to cut loose, stuff it down because we don't have time for that crap. It wasn't spoken outright, but it was there. I was the oldest, so I felt like I had to set the example for my sister. Any slip-up felt like letting the whole family down. He gestured vaguely with one hand, palm up, like he was offering the memory for inspection. So, when I got to college, bam. No one checking my homework, no curfew, no parents smelling booze on my breath. Suddenly, every rule I'd internalized just vanished. And the pull was insane. It wasn't just fun. It felt like oxygen after holding my breath for 18 years. Drinking, parties, staying up all night talking nonsense or hooking up. It was the first time I could chase pure pleasure without guilt hanging over me immediately. Like, this is what I've been missing. The intensity of it. Yeah, probably because it had been building up, repressed. Not in a traumatic way, but in that quiet, everyday way where you're always performing responsible kid and never fully letting go. His fingers flexed, then stilled again on his thighs. And the college part, honestly. I didn't hate the idea of college, but I wasn't dying to go either. It felt like the next box to check on the path everyone expected. My parents didn't push super hard. They just assumed that's what you do if you're not dumb. Dad said stuff like, "Don't end up like me, breaking your back for a paycheck." Mom wanted me to have options she didn't, so I went along with it. But deep down, I was scared shitless of failing again, like I already had in high school a bit. And part of me just wanted to delay real life, or maybe escape the pressure cooker of home. Jordan's voice grew quieter, more introspective. So when freedom hit, instead of buckling down and succeeding like the script said, I rebelled against the whole script. Not consciously, like I wasn't thinking, fuck college, I hate this path. It was more unconscious. If I'm finally free, why not do the thing that's the total opposite of everything I've been told to be? Partying became my way of saying, see, I can be someone else. I don't have to be the good, grinding kid anymore. He shook his head once, slow, the motion heavy with hindsight. But here's the kicker. It didn't feel liberating for long. The highs were high, but the crashes came fast. Grades tanking, shame piling up. That voice in my head going, "You're proving them right. You're a screw-up." So I doubled down sometimes, or pulled back. But the damage was done. That first big fuck-up set the pattern. Build up, escape into hedonism when pressure mounts, crash, repeat. Jordan looked up at Jacob now, eyes clear but searching. Looking back, yeah, The pull was so strong because I'd been repressing parts of myself for so long. Not just fun-seeking, but maybe the part that didn't want to follow the exact roadmap laid out. And because college wasn't my burning passion, it was what you're supposed to do. The freedom felt like permission to reject it all at once. He leaned back slightly, arms resting on the chair now, open for the first time in the session. Does that make sense? Or am I just making excuses for being an idiot at 18? I mean, plenty of kids from similar homes go to college and don't blow it up. What do you think? Was it mostly the release from repression? Or was there something else? Like not owning my own direction early on. I'm trying to see it clearly so I can stop repeating the cycle now. The room was quiet, except for the faint hum of the electric kettle cooling in the corner. Jordan waited, no longer fidgeting, no longer pulling at his beard, just present, listening for whatever Jacob might offer next. Jacob remained still for a long moment after Jordan finished, his gaze steady but kind, absorbing every layer of the confession without hurry. When he spoke, his voice was calm, deliberate. I think that there is a lot to untangle, Jacob said, but you don't have to delay finding what you want out of life until you finish untangling it. He leaned forward slightly, forearms resting on the desk, fingers loosely interlaced. You see, our emotions are responses to our thoughts, which means that you have always held two contradicting thoughts. I have to do this, and I don't want to do this. And when the emotional response to you not wanting to do what you are forcing yourself to do overloads, you fuck up. And after so many fuck-ups, you may have developed a negative self-image, which makes you feel like a loser. Jacob paused there, letting the observation settle, then continued in the same even tone. So I propose you balance what you have to do with what you want to do, and start reimagining your self-image into a capable human being with infinite potential that was too benevolent and was attempting to sacrifice his life for others. Now is the time to build yourself up so that people can actually rely on you, physically, emotionally, and even financially. We all fuck up. Your mistake is not being selfish enough. You are mad at yourself for passing out before putting the gas mask on someone. You had to put the gas mask on yourself first, dummy. He gave a small, wry smile at the last line. Not mocking, but gentle, almost affectionate in its bluntness. Like an older brother delivering the tough love Jordan had been circling for years without hearing it put quite that way. Jacob eased back in his chair, arms resting open on the armrests now, leaving the words to land wherever they needed to. Jordan sat very still for several seconds after Jacob's words landed, the gas mask analogy echoing in his head like a bell struck once and left ringing. His hands, which had been resting open on his thighs, slowly closed into loose fists. Not tense, just grounding. He blinked once, twice, then let out a low, incredulous breath that bordered on a laugh. Calling me out on not being selfish enough? He said, voice quiet but laced with something new. Surprise, maybe even a flicker of recognition. That's new. Everyone else in my life, parents, exes, even myself, has always framed it as me being too selfish, the partying, the escapes, the fuck-ups. But you're saying the opposite, that I've been sacrificing too much, too soon, without taking care of my own gas mask first. That's mind-bending. He leaned forward again, elbows on his knees, eyes searching Jacob's face as if trying to see if the man was serious. The emotions as responses to thoughts thing? Yeah, I see it. I've been carrying this war inside. I have to grind, succeed, provide, not disappoint, clashing with, this sucks, I want freedom, fun, something real. And when the don't want to side builds up steam, boom, table flip, overload, fuck up, rinse and repeat. And yeah, after enough of those, the self-image tanks. Loser becomes the default label. I look in the mirror and see the guy who failed out, got the DUI, lost jobs, lost people. Not the guy who clawed back multiple times, got the MBA with honors, helped underwrite loans that got families into homes. It's like I've edited out the wins to focus on the losses. Jordan rubbed a hand over his face, fingers lingering on his beard for a beat before dropping away. He exhaled again, slower this time. Reimagining myself as capable with infinite potential. Too benevolent, sacrificing for others? That's tough to swallow at first. Benevolent? Me? The guy who ghosted girlfriends and let friendships fade? But, wait, maybe. I did push myself back to school partly for Mom, to make her proud after seeing her cry. I grinded at jobs to be the stable one for potential family someday. Even the escapes, gaming, hobbies, were maybe my way of not fully exploding on others. Like, I kept the resentment internal until it leaked out in self-sabotage. So yeah, too, giving in the wrong way. Giving away my own stability to chase an ideal of what a good son/boyfriend/provider should be, without filling my own tank first. Jordan sat up straighter, shoulders squaring for the first time in the session. The chair creaked under the subtle shift. So, balancing have to with want to? That sounds like the way out. Not delaying the what I want part while untangling the mess. Start small, maybe? Like right now, with job hunting sucking the life out of me, mix in something I want. A walk outside, calling an old friend, or even just admitting I want work that feels meaningful, not just pays bills. And building myself up to be reliable. Physically, hit the gym despite pain. Emotionally, stop the self-hate loop. Financially, grind applications, but with breaks to avoid burnout. Because yeah, I do want people to rely on me, but I can't if I'm always one overload away from flipping. He paused, brow furrowing as a new question took shape. Question though, how do I start reimagining that self-image practically? Like, is it affirmations or something cheesy? Or just catching the loser thoughts and flipping them to capable guy who learned the hard way? And the selfishness. How do I lean into that without swinging back to the old hedonistic escapes? I don't want to fuck up by overcorrecting again. The room felt smaller somehow, warmer. The fresh paint smell faded into the background. Outside, the February night pressed against the glass, but inside the circle of lamplight, Jordan waited, not braced for judgment, but open, ready for whatever came next. Jacob held Jordan's gaze for a beat longer, letting the spark in the other man's eyes reflect back at him without fanfare. Then he leaned forward once more, elbows on the desk, voice steady and matter-of-fact, like a coach giving final instructions before the whistle. That is your homework, Jacob said. Or if you prefer, a prescription. He lifted one finger, counting off the first point. You are going to get a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It will guide you to fix your self-image. Another finger rose. You are going to set apart time every day to rewrite your history with a positive outlook. Think a propaganda autobiography. A third finger. You are going to get a job and keep looking for the one you actually enjoy doing, even if it's a YouTube channel. But if it is, make it a side hustle. And don't just apply for jobs. Force yourself into them if you have to. You have a dog to take care of. Giving yourself air is not vacation time. It's urgent to become reliable. So everything you do has to be done with urgency until you have the mental image and discipline to allow yourself to relax a bit. He lowered his hand, resting it flat on the desk. And if someone tells you you are living your life wrong, ask yourself if you are living like you want to live. If the answer is yes, or I'm on my way there, you laugh in their face and continue on. No one owes anything to anyone, and no one can tell you how to live your life. Jacob sat back fully now, chair creaking softly, the faintest hint of a smile touching the corner of his mouth. Not triumphant, just satisfied that the message had landed clean. If you want another session, I'm here, he added. But next time I will be costing you. The words settled into the room like the last note of a song. Jacob didn't rush to fill the silence. He simply waited, hands relaxed on the armrests, giving Jordan space to absorb the assignment, the prescription, the map forward. Jordan's breathing had evened out. His shoulders, which had been hunched for most of the hour, now sat lower, looser. He looked at Jacob for a long moment, then down at his own hands, open, no longer clenched, before nodding once, slow and deliberate. The desk lamp continued to burn steady in the gathering dark, its circle of light catching the edge of an unpacked box labeled Books, and the faint title, The Myth of Sisyphus, peeking from the top. Outside, February wind tapped once against the window, then fell quiet. Jordan exhaled through his nose, a sound that was almost a laugh. Small, private, the first real one of the evening. Homework, he murmured, testing the word. Yeah, I can do homework. He stood slowly, the chair scraping back. Jacob rose too, extending a hand across the desk, not a formal handshake, but a brief, firm grip that said we're done for today, but not done. Jordan took it, held it a second longer than necessary, then let go. Thanks, he said, voice rough but clear, for not letting me off easy. Jacob gave a small nod. Doors open when you're ready to pay for round 2. In the meantime, start with the book and the rewriting. Small steps every day. Jordan zipped his jacket, glanced once more around the still unfinished office. The fresh paint, the half-filled shelves, the sense of something being built, and stepped toward the door. He paused with his hand on the knob, looked back. Propaganda autobiography, huh? Jacob shrugged, the ghost of that same wry smile returning. Make it convincing. You're the only audience that matters. Jordan gave a short laugh, real this time, then opened the door and stepped out into the cold February night. The bell above the frame jingled softly behind him, a quiet punctuation mark on the first session. A few months later, early summer now, the February chill long replaced by warm light slanting through the office windows. Jacob arrived one morning to find a small padded envelope waiting on the mat outside the door. No return address, just his name. He carried it inside, set it on the desk beside the now fuller bookshelves, and opened it carefully. Inside was a slim paperback, matte cover, professional but understated. The title read simply, JHL, Jordan Hale Loans, Building Futures, One Responsible Dream at a Time. A subtitle in smaller type, a practical guide to micro-lending for family-owned startups. On the back cover, a headshot of Jordan, clean-shaven, steady-eyed, wearing a collared shirt instead of the hoodie Jacob remembered, smiled with quiet confidence. Jacob turned the book over in his hands, thumb tracing the spine, then noticed the envelope tucked inside the front flap. Plain white, sealed, with 2 words in the same block handwriting. To Jacob. Thank you. He slid it open. A printed photograph slipped out first. Jordan stood between his parents in front of a small storefront, the fresh sign above the door reading Hale's Oven, fresh baked daily. His father, broad-shouldered, hair more gray than Jacob remembered from Jordan's stories, had an arm around his wife, who held a tray of golden rolls like a trophy. Jordan's grin was wide, unguarded, the kind that reaches the eyes. Everyone was smiling, really smiling. The letter beneath the photo was handwritten, ink slightly smudged in places where drops had landed, rain maybe, or something saltier. Jacob read it slowly. Jacob, I don't even know if words are enough. But here's my attempt. The idea started the day Dad got hurt on the job, slipped disc, months off his feet. I was sitting with him in the living room while Mom was at the store, and for the first time in my life, I saw him cry. Not loud, just quiet tears. He said he wished he could have left construction years ago, opened that bakery he and Mom used to talk about when they were young. We dreamed it, he said, but dreams don't pay bills. Something broke in me hearing that, or maybe something finally clicked. I went home that night and started building a business plan. Called old contacts, pitched to anyone who'd listen, found partners who believed in the same thing. Loans to responsible families who want to start small businesses, fair terms, real support, no predatory bullshit. We launched Jordan Hale Loans 6 weeks ago. It's small, but it's growing. And last month, we funded my parents' bakery. They cut the ribbon yesterday. Dad's already talking about cinnamon rolls for the grand opening. Asterisk. I'm sorry, I haven't booked another session. Truth is, JHL has taken every waking hour, and for once it feels like the hours are going towards something solid. I don't know if I'll need to sit across from you again, but if you ever need a loan, realistic rates, no games, you call me. Anytime, day or night. Asterisk. Thank you for listening when I couldn't hear myself. For the gas mask. For telling me I wasn't selfish enough. You changed the trajectory. I hope the book finds its way to someone else who needs it. Asterisk. Jordan. Tucked at the bottom of the envelope was a check. Generous, made out to Jacob. Memo line reading simply, for the first session and the homework. Jacob sat down slowly. He reread the letter twice, then set it flat on the desk and reached for his phone to take a quick photo of the bakery picture. He printed a fresh copy at the corner shop later that afternoon, framed it with the original letter behind glass, and hung it on the wall behind his desk. The wall was starting to fill. What he'd begun calling, half joking to himself, his trophies. A thank you card from a woman who'd finally left an abusive job after their talks. A postcard from a client who'd moved to another city and started a garden center. Now this. Jordan's family, smiling in front of an oven that smelled, even through the photo, of yeast and second chances. He made himself a black coffee, strong, no sugar, carried the mug and the book to his chair, and opened to the first page. The dedication was short. To the restless kid who needed to hear he could stop running long enough to build something real. And to the guy who told him how. Jacob took a sip, leaned back, and began to read. The summer light moved slowly across the room, touching the frame on the wall, catching the faint watermark of old tears on the letter. Outside, the city hummed on. Inside, for a moment, everything felt exactly where it was supposed to be.